Hello YouTubers! Today I'll be painting the front brake calipers on my wife's 2013 Lexus GS350 all-wheel drive. Ever since I purchased a more aggressive set of wheels for her car, the brake calipers have been a huge eyesore, and today I'm going to do something about it. Painting the brake calipers is actually pretty easy. The key is making sure you take your time prepping the brake calipers for the paint. The more time you spend on prep, the better the outcome will be. Let me show you. First step is making sure we thoroughly clean the brake calipers. I'm using an old toothbrush and a degreaser called Purple Power to clean my brake calipers. After the caliper is clean, I rinse it off with water and dry it with a towel. It's important that we remove all rust, dirt, and grease to ensure that we get a good bond with the paint. This is by far the most important step, so make sure you take your time and do it right. Since I'm not removing the brake caliper from the car in order to paint them, I'll need to protect the areas that shouldn't be receiving paint. Here I'm using old newspapers and duct tape I had lying around in order to protect the car from overspray. Next, I use tape to mask off the inner brake caliper pistons, hydraulic lines, and the circular aluminum pieces on the backside of the caliper from getting painted. And lastly, I use a large trash bag to protect the suspension components from overspray. Before I paint the calipers, I'll give them a final wipe down with acetone. Acetone does an excellent job of removing wax and grease and will ensure that the paint will bond well to the surface of the caliper. Before you start painting the brake calipers, it's important that you follow the instructions on the back side of the can. For the paint I'm using, the manufacturer recommends that I wait 10 minutes between each coat of paint. When spraying the brake calipers, I like to start off with a light coat first and then spray 2 additional coats until the caliper is fully covered. Once I'm done spraying the final coat, I'll let the brake caliper cure for 30 minutes in the hot sun. After 30 minutes has passed, I'll flip the brake caliper over and spray 3 coats of paint on the areas I couldn't reach. Got the caliper all painted. I'm going to let it sit here for about an hour to let the paint harden up and cure before I apply the decal. The Lexus decal is going to go across here and then clear it. So I'm going to be back in an hour and we'll finish this up. Alright, it's that time to apply the decal. Let's see if I screw this up. Now that the decal is applied, I spray 3 coats of clear coat over the brake caliper while waiting 10 minutes in between each coat. Spraying a clear coat over the decal and brake caliper will help protect the finish. After the third and final coat of clear, I let the brake caliper bake under the hot sun for the next 4 hours before I put everything back together. Wow, now that's what a brake caliper on a car that has wheels like this should look like. For less than $50 in materials, I'm really happy with how these brake calipers turned out. Hopefully this video will inspire you to go out there and give your brake calipers a nice makeover. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure you click that like button. Those likes are what inspired me to keep making these videos. So long.